The transportation system in China is well developed. Several cities are connected by speed train, along with high-speed rail. In numerous cities, China has also constructed subway systems. This accelerated as well as boosted the urban economy. The urbanization process. Now that China has constructed infrastructure abroad, many nations have welcomed it. Vietnam allegedly turned down Japan and requested China construct a $800 million metro system for it. The neighborhood Vietnamese or when the project was finished. Vietnam's native population is growing. Its entire population by 2020, according to the current development trend, has surpassed 97 million. Its population will most certainly surpass hundreds of millions in the following 3 to 5 years. To some extent, traffic congestion will be caused by the ongoing population growth. Despite the country's economy doing well recently, citizens, their salaries are typically low and they cannot afford a car. Vietnam does not, however, have many automobiles. It is a sizable motorcycle-owning nation. It is believed that there are more than 45 million motorcycles in Vietnam, and that figure will continue to rise by roughly 3 million each year. It is equal to one person and one motorcycle if you don't count the young and old. Aside from, buses were the only mode of public transit in Vietnam. Because so many people opted to ride motorcycles, Vietnam's air quality was extremely terrible. The Vietnamese government made the decision to construct the nation's first subway line in order to address environmental issues and reduce travel times for citizens. As per Vietnam's strategy, this metro line is a light rail system. The first light rail line in Hanoi, Vietnam, is known officially as the Hanoi Light Rail, Jilin to Ha Dong Line. In the capital city of Hanoi, the line links the 3 districts of Dong Duo, Sang Chun, and Ho Dinh, 13.5 kilometers in length altogether. But Vietnam is not good at building subways, so the Vietnamese government has started the tender process for light rail. South Korea is one of the bidders. Because Japan's light rail technology is so advanced, along with other light rail construction powerhouses, everyone is of the opinion that Japan will unquestionably win the bid. It is one of the original nations in the opening of light rail. Many Japanese experts concurred that they would unquestionably succeed in obtaining the light rail project in Vietnam. Vietnam ultimately turned over this project to China, though, is really unexpected. Why then did Vietnam pick China over Japan? As we are all aware, China has historically heavily used Japanese rail transit construction technology. But this is the reason for it: the cause of China's superior comprehension of Japanese technology, and has assimilated and incorporated many of its benefits and drawbacks. Since then, Chinese engineers have developed a new system after 20 years of relentless work, is the national standard of China. Consequently, when building the Vietnam subway, China gives the project's criteria a lot of consideration. The bridge standard comes first. Throughout the light rail project, the utilization of numerous bridge technologies necessitates that every single technical node be flawless and error-free. Mountainous, humid Hanoi, Vietnam has a lot of heavy rain each summer. Consequently, the bridge waterproofing is an important consideration. In chronological order, to address these problems, numerous bridge specialists were sent to Hanoi by the Chinese construction team, in particular to undertake surveys. Following their investigation and testing, they ultimately chose to adopt 2 novel ideas: design structures with a single column, 3 stories, are raised, and have long cantilever spans. Additionally, worldwide standards that went above and above the criteria were used for the concrete standards for the bridge's piers. The material standard comes in second, is a crucial mode of transportation for daily life. Travel. Every day, the light rail runs nearly non-stop. As a result, the amount of materials needed to build light rail is very considerable. One of them, the most crucial light rail component, is steel. In addition to being highly effective and requiring little energy, steel must also be compatible with Vietnam's climatic and environmental conditions. These problems, though, are unimportant to China. China already possesses the most advanced steel-producing technology in the entire world. They have long sold their very light rails, subways, and high-speed trains to other countries. Even some American subway trains are made in China. China is therefore extremely clear about which useful for light rail materials in Vietnam's Hanoi. The communication power standard comes last, after the light rail train's construction is complete. It requires a robust communication, technology, and power system in order to operate promptly and safely. China currently boasts communication technology that is decades ahead of South Korea and Japan. With a total length of more than 40,000 kilometers, China's high-speed rail network is the most intricate railway system in the world. Almost no delays occur throughout the operation, and the likelihood of safety mishaps is quite minimal. First-tier cities like Beijing and Shanghai have an operational distance of more than 500 kilometers in terms of urban rail transit, and there are millions of passengers each day. China simply needs to design in accordance with domestic communication and power system standards while building the light rail in Hanoi, Vietnam, in the light rail construction in Vietnam. The building standards in China are simultaneously significantly superior to those in Japan. There are a lot of benefits, monetary terms, owing to China's success in localizing more than 90% of its manufacturing, from materials to technology, which Japanese businesses are unable to do. This is another significant factor that led to the signing of a cooperation agreement between the Vietnamese government and China. In addition to the benefits brought by advances in technology, there is yet one more, a significant factor to which the government of Vietnam gives a lot of weight and importance. China considers its neighbor to the south, Vietnam, to be one of its most important and potentially beneficial neighbors. We can only accomplish results that are beneficial to both countries and win-win situations if we insist on cordial collaboration between the two nations over a long period of time. As of right now, China is ramping up its One Belt, One Road policy, which will successfully boost the economic development of the countries located in Southeast Asia. If it wants to continue its rapid economic progress, Vietnam must act soon to join the Belt and Road Initiative. Not only do they have access to the most cutting-edge technology, but they also quick economic progress. Vietnam will not pass up this opportunity because it is a solution that benefits both parties. It is important to point out that China was the source of the loans that were used in the construction of this light rail, and that China is also responsible for the entire process. After riding the subway in China, visitors from the United States and Europe were shocked at how technologically advanced the country was. Not only that, but it also shortens the travel time of the general population in Vietnam. The time it takes for people in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh to travel one way or the other takes less than 25 minutes total. The journey time can be cut down by around 30 minutes with the help of the light rail, according to a number of local office workers. People in Vietnam have a lot of gratitude for China because Chinese technology has made traveling more easier for them. The completion of this light rail project will have a significant impact on raising Vietnam's economic standing, fostering social well-being, and expanding employment opportunities in the years to come. This route will bring significant benefits to the urban growth of Vietnam's capital and the cities that surround it. At the same time, the accomplishment for China. The completion of the railway is another indication that China's infrastructure is becoming more globalized. It is a significant factor in enhancing the reputation of China's infrastructure around the world and establishing a Chinese brand name. Additionally, it will be of some assistance. Increase the amount of economic and commercial interaction that takes place between China and Vietnam and work to strengthen the existing bilateral cooperation, which is a win-win situation for all parties. Since the 20th century, China has begun to participate in a great number of infrastructure projects located in other countries, which has completely established the nation's reputation as the infrastructure fanatic. In today's globe, Chinese norms have already been adopted as world standards, and Chinese innovations like light rail, metro, and high-speed rail have expanded. Anywhere on every continent, whether or not it is the developed nation of the United States or in underdeveloped parts of Africa, the infrastructural technology of China can be found everywhere. In the time to come, the technological prowess of China's infrastructure sector will only improve. I am grateful that you watched the video. If you found the video to be very fascinating, I would appreciate it if you would click here to subscribe to my channel. Click on these video to watch about another amazing project you didn't know about.